Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
great. Um,
Yes,
okay,
yes, sir.
great. Um, Okay, so as I said, resume is like a match fixing, right? Because if you go to an interview, the interviewer can ask anything, right? It's an
Yes, sir.
open stuff for him or her to ask any questions related to the field of finance. But when we are, preparing the resume, what we can do is influence that process, right? When we write things which the recruiters or the person can relate to, then first it is very highly likely that you will get shortlisted. Second, you are pushing them to talk about the things that they are comfortable with already. So when they will talk about those things, and you know about those things, chances of you getting through the interview is much higher. So resume is a very important document to do for your complete job opportunities, right? So what is that we need to do, because this is basically designed for chartered accountants. What I see is a lot of chartered accountants write about audit, tax, and all these things, right, which is not relevant for the recruiter. So what you need to do is you have to talk in the language of the recruiter. Things like, what they can relate to. People working in investment banking, equity research, credit research, all these guys can associate with the word sectors, industries, sub industries, all these things. So you should talk in the language that they understand, not in the language what you have done. So this is one key important thing for what you have to do. I've got a simple example. You see, this is I picked up from my own resume. Uh, so you see, during the articleship, I acquired understanding of various sectors like auto ancillary, FMCG, real estate, power, general, and banking. At that point of time, honestly, I did not know that it was something that I had to write about, but I had written, and I think one of the reasons I got shortlisted could be this. So you need not have the relevant experience, but because as an audit assistant or as an auditor, as a article assistant, we go to various industries. So you can write about those industries a bit. Uh,
Okay.
so this is one thing. The second thing is the keywords, right? Because all the shortlisting, everything works on keywords with all the automated tools that are available today. They are just even the HR guys are searching with the keywords, or they are using automated tools which are searching for the keywords. So what you need to ensure is that you have the right keywords related to that particular job opportunity. So once you have that, once you have those keywords in your resume, you are more likely to get shortlisted. And even after shortlisting, you are more likely to crack through a interview. Obviously, it is not completely helping you to crack the interview, but shortlisting, definitely a large chunk of it is covered. When I say keywords, what people do, they just write, for example, financial modeling is a keyword. So what they will write is financial modeling somewhere and put, uh, you know, I have done financial modeling course, or I know financial modeling only that much. Now, that is not something that the recruiter will be very happy about, or they are really looking for. Yes, you may get shortlisted at the first level, but as soon as it goes to the hiring manager will just discard this, because everybody knows these keywords. They are writing the keywords. Writing the keywords in the right way is very important. So typically, how I ask people to write about financial modeling, I'll quickly show you that as well. So I've got a sample resume. This is something that we created for people. You see, the way we have written about financial modeling, now this is completely a financial modeling related course that the student had done. He had no experience related to that, and yet we put across all these projects which are relevant, which also ensured that all the keywords that are required are here. You see, financial statement analysis, ratio analysis, NPV, IRR, leverage, um, DCF valuation, relative valuation. All these keywords have come into this, and you can look at it and feel that these are not isolated keywords, right? So writing it in this way helps you, obviously get the keywords here and also start relating to the recruiting manager, right? The HR obviously guy is just searching for the keywords, and if you have the keywords, they will shortlist you. But when it goes to the hiring manager, to the shortlisted candidate, then from there you are more likely to go forward if you have written the skills in this way than in just isolated keywords.
So it's more of an exhibiting our past experience in simple terms
Correct.
rather than yeah.
Correct. You are absolutely correct. Talking about what you have done, not just saying that I have done this, right? Even for whatever you did in the previous jobs or in your articleship or some other project, you have to explain it. Explaining
Okay.
it is a very important thing. Just writing those keywords is not a important thing. So this is how you should get the keywords into the resume.
So rather than being very generic, we have to be very specific about past experiences, what we have done. So it
Correct.
will help us to get recruited by the higher managers or the directors
Correct.
while
And
screening us.
right. And you have to also write the things that the recruiter is looking at. Right. For example, now this is an example. Let's say you've done audit, right? You've not worked on the other aspects of it, and you've done audit. Now,
Yes.
where in the audit, obviously these terminologies cannot be included, right? Then what do you do?
Yeah, we
Then sorry. Then you bring it through a project, right? Also
yeah.
try and put it in a way that gives them the feeling that gives them the things that they are looking at a later stage. I'll tell you what they are broadly looking at. If you see, what the recruiter is broadly looking at is your Excel or modeling skills, financial modeling skills. They are looking at your analytical aptitude, and then they're looking for communication. So they are looking for these things in your resume. Now, if they are able to find these things on the resume, then obviously they are more likely to call you for an interview, right? So how do you demonstrate all these things into that? One way of doing it is through the projects. The other way is if you already have got the experience, right, of those things or something related, then you can write about it. You just look at this, how I have put across. Um, was part of a project related. This is during my articleship that I had done. I mean, obviously I'm showing what I did. I did not know at that point of time that I was doing it correctly, but this is what I did. Was a project to customer profitability analysis for online platform. Now, analysis, Excel, extensively using Excel, dashboard, all these keywords have come in. So I have demonstrated to the guy that, boss, I know Excel, right? If you look at this one, how it has been written, it shows that I am able to communicate with people, right? Coordination with people, discussing the conclusion with the management. All this is demonstrating that I have good communication skills,
Okay.
right?
So
So
indirectly, it's
correct. So you don't have to say that I am good with communication, right? What you have to prove is that you are good with communication. So you have to demonstrate that and not just write, okay, communication skills 10 out of 10. You can't write that because you are not the one who is judging, right? You can just showcase what you have done.
mm,
So see, it's
understood.
very important that you write it in this way. This is one of the things that when you say that I was leading a team or as a team leader, it also slightly demonstrate that okay, you can work in group and you can also control the group. So that
Understood.
gives them, not that you have to be always a team leader. You can be just a part of a project also. Does not change much of it. If you just can show that okay, you have been a team leader, then that gives you that additional advantage. right?
Understood.
So this
Yeah.
is this is what you need to take care with the resume. Now there are a few things which are more of transactional in nature. What I mean by transactional in nature, that these are things that you should take care when you are building your resume. Things like basic hygiene, I mean basic formatting, right? Basic grammar, the spell check that you have, you should undergo that spell check. And a lot of people these days are putting photos on their
Photos.
resume. Now I'm not a very big fan, because people say you have to have a visual resume, and most of the people are literally using the term visual and putting their own photos into that. Now I think for most of the finance related jobs, I don't think you need to put your photo onto the resume. What you need to do is you need to have a single page of resume. Most of the finance job, you have to have single page of resume, and in that single page of resume you need to use it for writing or demonstrating your capability, not your looks. Okay, I will also
Understood.
share with you a set. You see here I have got something called as yeah, a resume building checklist.
Oh, understood.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. So basically, I have got this resume building checklist. So if you look at the checklist, what we have written is like you have to know what is the purpose of the resume, what the recruiter is looking for. Most of the recruiters will look at the resume for about 5 to 7 or 10 seconds, or use some kind of a tool to evaluate it. So it's not going to pass through if you've not got it correct. Similarly, if you're applying to particular specific positions and you already know that you will be applying for that, then you have to tailor the resume for that particular purpose. We've got some basic checklist, so it should be only one page. If it is there, you can tick it, and then it is green, and then you know that is taken care of. So what you can do is use this resume building checklist to ensure that whatever basic requirements are there are covered in your resume. Like a lot of people use I, me, you. Those kind of pronouns should not be used. You should have a consistency in the formatting and the way your stuff looks at. You should have narrow margins. Now in the Word document, you've got some people just start typing after leaving a lot of space here, but you should ideally use a narrow margin. You have to go to the layout and just use the narrow margin option. That ensures that everything is then available for you to write about. um, there are a few things that you can do. You can just put, if there are multiple pages in your resume, generally, as I said, for finance we stick to one, but for reasons, if your resume is going for more than one page, then you should also have a header and footer there, or maybe just a footer there, and put the page numbering there. In terms of the sections that are there, if you look at this is a sample resume for somebody who's got some experience, um, but does not have any relevant experience. So what we have done is pushed all the experience down to the second level, and at the top we have put in projects. Now, this is done specifically to ensure that the keywords are there. And then when the recruiter looks at all these things, they are more likely to have a interview with her. So if you just write that I was doing these things, then there is very highly likely that all the calls that you get will be based on these, and you will never get calls related to what you want to what you want to do. So in this case, we've got this project section, then you've got the professional experience section, then you've got the certification related section, and then obviously finally education. And the way the education works, you see, we're not writing, some people write about 10th, 12th, and then graduation, and then CA, and then everything. You don't have to. And even in CA, they talk about the CPT and the IPCC and CA final. I would not want that. I would just want you to talk about your graduation and then post graduation. In this case, CA would be the post graduation. You should include the interest and achievement if you can showcase, or it is relevant to that particular job opportunity, or you can showcase some of the skills that the recruiters are looking for. Otherwise there's no point including those things. You should not include things like uh, personal details. Nobody is interested in the personal detail, and you don't have enough space for that. The only personal detail potentially they're looking out for is your email ID and your phone number, which needs to be there on the resume. Even the address part of it is not relevant for most of the profiles. So we've got this checklist. I will share this checklist towards the end of the session so that you can have a look at this. All of you can have a look at this checklist, and then ensure that your resume is is following these bullet points to cover, or to make sure that there are not things being missed out. One more thing that I would really recommend all of you to do is, to go to some of the websites which do what they call as the resume scoring. Right? There are a lot of them. I would not specifically mention, or maybe I could mention a few of them. So these are the ones that I have used: Shine, app.scan. You can just go to Google, maybe. Yeah, let me just show you. You just go to Google and search for resume scorer, and you get a lot of them. You can use resume worded, but this is mostly the free version, does not give you a lot of information. Or okay, let me just share or show you how it works. So just upload your resume, sign into your account. Let me upload the sample resume and show you how it works. Okay, so you see, it's given me an overall score of 31 for reasons not known. If you are a paid subscriber of it, it will give you these things. But you see what we have done good in this particular uh, style, or in this, that we have been brief, concise, and clear. On that, they have given us a very high score. The style, the sections that are there, right? The same things that are required, the hard skills that need to be covered are all covered here. So what we missed out, a few things that they have mentioned here, but that is only available in case you are doing, if you are a paid subscriber, right, for this one. But you can use this, the one that I used earlier to do is this, which gives you a fair bit of idea. So this is from shine.com. You have to also understand that a lot of these websites are ultimately going to sell you a product. So they try and push your scores down not always give you the correct score. So you should understand what they are scoring you and on, and what is the thing that is not good for your stuff. So let me just do check your score. Upload a resume and a sample resume. Where is our sample resume? Okay, it's already there. So you see here what we did good in terms of skills. It says you have got 100 out of 100. The contact details according to them is missing because with the sample resume we've not written the email ID and the phone number, so that is why that is missing. The formatting style is 50%. It can get better. The work experience is 70%, right? Summary objectives, we don't write summary and objectives unless you've got 5+ years of experience. So this is a resume for somebody who's less than 5 years of experience. It cannot find or search for the education detail there. That is why it is giving a low score here, right? So you can use these websites to find out what you're doing good and what you're not doing good, and then correct those things. A lot of them are
Sure.
available. Yeah. Sorry, is there a question?
No, sir. We can proceed. Yeah, understand.
Okay. There are others also which can do something like when you give them a job description, right? And this one, this is job scan, app.jobscan. So what it does is you upload your resume, and then you also upload the job description. And once you upload the job description, it will compare whatever is required for the job description, is it coming into your resume or not. So again, a free service that is available, you can utilize it if you are looking for a particular job opportunity. So this is what I had to specifically talk about on the resume front. I will share the sample resume along with the checklist so that you guys can have a look at it. If you have any questions related to the resume, I can take it up.
Sir, I have one specific question. So,
Tell me.
this finance roles
Hmm.
start from yesterday's session that we have
Hmm.
spoke about that investment banking role and the equity research and credit research and the private equity. So, in
Correct.
all those roles, for all those roles, all the investment banks or the financial institutions, not fintech, will
Hmm.
be very closely monitoring the candidate's skills, right, rather than the resume or the attitude, right? It's all of finance. It's all about skills and analytical ability, right? So the
Correct.
resume plays a, is resume plays a very important role, and the CA ranking and the big school, big branding schools, big schools. Is it that all factors will be considered or only just skills?
Right. See, basically, the important thing is, like, at the first level, if you look at the whole process, at the first level, they need to shortlist you, right? After shortlisting, they need to call you for an interview. Only then you can show them the skills, right? Dipesh, you there?
Yes, sir.
If they
Yes, sir.
don't
Yes,
call
sir.
you, if they don't call you, will you be able to show them what skills you have?
Okay, so first the level one entry is this resume and that qualifications, and
Correct.
level two, while after entering only we can showcase, we can grow on our own.
Correct.
So
I gave an example yesterday, right? Not everybody is doing that kind of filtering, but I gave an example. There's this company called DE Shaw, right? One of the largest hedge funds in the world. In fact, the largest hedge fund in the world. Now they have got operations in India. They hire for equity research and related fields in India. But their criteria is very simple. Unless you are a CA ranker or you are coming from a top IIM, you will not get a call. Or even as a fresher, or if you have got work experience for more than 3 years, then you are more likely to be called without even a rank holder or stuff. So what you have to understand is that various companies will filter in various ways. and you have to pass through or navigate through those filtering criterias. For example, I think you mentioned that you're doing CFA.
Yeah.
So typically, you will not write about your CFA once unless you are completed with level one, right?
Yeah.
But I will go ahead and write about CFA immediately as soon as I register myself. Why? Because they are searching with this keyword CFA or chartered financial analyst, either of them. So
Okay.
when the point is that when you put that into your resume, even though you have just started the stuff, you when you put that, your shortlisting becomes better. You are more likely to be shortlisted for these kind of roles. So I would
Okay.
not wait to complete my level one or level two and then go for it. I would just write about saying that CFA pursuing. You can write pursuing. I'm not asking you to say that completed CFA. You can say CFA in bracket. You can say chartered financial analyst and then say pursuing. So it is very important that we ensure that these keywords are there that will help you shortlist. Yes, ultimately your skills will take you through the interview process and all those things, but this is what gets you to those that level that you can showcase your skills.
Understood. So, why I've asked that thing is, I'm a person who values the skills more than the background or the
Correct,
institution where from came from, because I'm from the articleship background, CA,
correct,
audit, taxation.
correct,
I came into this finance due to sheer passion and what the industry is about. It's just the
correct,
passion. So
correct,
I'm just growing on my skills. I'm riding on my skills. So
correct.
the thing is, only the top Goldman Sachs or Credit Suisse or UBS. So what are
Mm,
the big things in the world? I just want to work there.
mm,
If my entry level is constraint is because I'm not a CA ranker, or I'm not from the top IAM or big MBAs from the universities in the world, I can't
mm.
able to enter, right? This is a practical reality, right? So
Correct. So
I want to work in Goldman Sachs, but I can't enter without any this kind of brandings, right? So this is what fearing me. This is what causing me a worry now. Yeah.
no, see, what you have to understand here is that, as I said, all these guys are obviously they're putting filters. Why they're putting filters? Because they can put the filters, right? Because even the IAM guys are applying. So then, when it is comparison between two of us, then sorry, comparison between an IAM guy and a CA guy, then obviously the IAM guy is winning out, right? Unless you are a CA ranker. So what you have to understand is once you've got a 2 3 years or 5 years of relevant experience, right,
Relevant
then
experience.
right,
Yeah.
then experience takes over, then your qualification. I am
Okay.
talking in terms of, see, you have to understand that the audience that I am also catering to is the one who are in the 0 to 3 years kind of a work experience profile, right? So
Okay.
they are freshers to maybe a couple of years of non-relevant experience. For them to be able to get to that level where they are getting shortlisted and at least going for an interview, these are the key things that they need to do.
Understood. Understood. So, yeah, I just came across a reality check now.
Correct,
Because I'm writing on these things. If I got a skills, if I got the proper analytical ability, I can enter the big players in the market, so I can get the relevant experience. But
correct,
now, yeah, understood. I should underplay my now, so that I can unlearn something. I can do something which the recruiter wants. Yeah, I understood how the market works.
correct. Also, in terms of, when I said about the skills, generally people will write about skills only on their resume. I would go ahead and write about my skills on all the portals that I've registered with, right? So whether it is Naukri.com or LinkedIn or IIM jobs, I will talk about portals in a few minutes. But I will go there and put the skills because everybody is searching through the skills. So there is always a skill section in all these portals. You should ideally go to those skill section and then put your skills there as well.
Okay. So not only in the resume, in all the job platforms which we are going
Correct.
to apply.
Correct. You put
Yeah.
that there,
Yes.
and they always will have a skill section. So, in fact, if you look out for job opportunities, I will show you one job opportunity or a couple of job opportunities live to tell you that they all these guys put skills somewhere or the other. So you should be able to pick up those skills and see if your resume has all those skills or not. Okay.
Okay.
Now, once you're done with the resume, obviously the work is to go for a job. Just
Okay.
okay. So yeah, we're looking for jobs now. Now, when we are looking for jobs, where do I search? Right. This is the first thing that everybody asks me. Where do I search, sir? When I apply on Naukri, I'm getting mails which are I get a number of mails, but most of those jobs that I get are irrelevant, not even worth looking at them. So I'm not getting the right set of jobs. So if you want to get good quality job in finance, I just trust two sites at this point of time. One is iamjobs.com and the other one is LinkedIn.
Internet.
These are the two places that I will put all the efforts to get the job. Elsewhere you can obviously go and register and put, but these are the places where you can get good quality job. If you're just looking for any job, then obviously there are a lot of them to look at. But if you're like looking for good quality jobs, then iamjobs.com, it is now owned by naukri.com only. So
Okay.
yet it is giving you good quality jobs because it was initially built for the guys who are coming from IIM. And iamjobs.com does not mean that they will only hire IIM guys, but it is just the initial starting point or the name that they had given to it.
Okay.
So what is the best way of or the fastest way to getting an interview? The fastest way, like we discussed yesterday, to getting any interview is reference. But getting a referral itself is a challenging stuff because most of the people will always say, sir, I connected with so many people but nobody is referring me. Now believe me that nobody is going to refer you. Suddenly one day you come up and send 20 requests to people saying connect, and then out of 25 people have connected, and immediately after they connect you just type in and say I'm looking for a job. Nobody is going to recommend or refer you for jobs. What you have to know is that this is a process, right? First is who are more likely to refer you are your friends, your colleagues, your trainers, or relatives. If most of the time your friends and colleagues will be at the same level that you are, they are also searching for similar kind of jobs and not getting. So the other things that you can look at is people who have trained you or who know you, your relatives. They are more likely to refer than anybody else. There's also one platform that is there, Round One. Okay, earlier this used to be free. Now I think they've made it chargeable. But what you can do is you can connect with people on Round One. They do they charge you and they allow you to connect with these people, and then these people can do some mock interviews or interviews to understand where you are. And after they are satisfied that okay, you are the right candidates to refer, they may refer your profile into their company. Now, I have not personally used Round One, but some of my students have done. They've said that it is a decent platform to look at. So you can look for, if you're searching for referral, this is one place you can look out for referrals. When you are asking for referral to unknown people, I think the best way is to be able to connect with them, and then over a period of time you keep posting something which is relevant. And then when one day if I have a requirement, or if you come to me and say that okay, I want to go and I've seen some work of yours, then I may be more likely to refer than elsewhere. In the job search, what also works out is having a targeted list of companies. Now very few people will have such thing, but I think everybody should have a targeted set of companies that you have mapped based on your aspiration, your skill set, the company requirements, all of them taken into consideration. You've got about 5, 10, 15 companies that you have shortlisted for yourself, that you are targeting. If you are just going to randomly apply for every company and every job opportunity, it is not going to work out. So, I've got a list of these companies here. I'll show you a list that I created. This is slightly old. I need to update that, but I still have a list. I created, one of my students actually created this list. So, it's got the company names, where is the location, and the website. And typically, if you have the career page, the companies have the career page. So he has tried to put the career page. If he's not able to get the career page, then he has put the general link to that particular company. So what you need to do is to be able to have such companies or such list with you, and keep looking out for opportunities posted by these companies, either on their own websites or on some other platforms or through some agencies. But if you want to apply to any company and every company, it will be challenging to do any kind of planning or any kind of narrowing it down. So this is very important that you have a targeted list.
Sure, sir. Sir, while sharing the list, for sharing the documents, please share that company list also, sir.
Absolutely
Actually, it is very elaborative. All the companies have been covered.
correct.
The
There is about 120 plus companies, and then maybe in some time I will also update that. Whenever I update, I will share the updated list also with you.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Now this is one thing people do for reasons don't know. Most of them out of frustration is that they keep applying to every any job, and every job that they can see that comes up onto or they think that okay, this is a relevant job, I will apply. Now if you keep applying to this, what happens is your frustration is increasing, because you start feeling that nobody is shortlisting me, nobody is coming. But maybe you're not applying to the right set of companies. Like I gave you an example, I repeat that example, that if you are not coming from IIM, and you're not CA ranker, you are a fresher, and then you apply to DE Shaw, and DE Shaw is not replying to you, they are not likely to reply to you. So what you have to understand is, you have to create this list, not just based on what you want to do or what you aspire, but also look at what the company is looking out for, and do you really fit into that? If you don't fit into that, then do things which can make you fit into that. And if you think you can't do those things, then you have to tone down yourself and bring yourself to the level where you can apply for the right set of companies. Just applying for any company, every company will not be helpful. At the start here, I said it is a process, and you have to consistently follow it. Some people think that consistently following means apply to every job. What I mean with this consistently following is that you should be applying to 3, 5, 7 jobs a week, and you should stick. Unless there is a lot more job opportunities available, you should not go for that, which is basically 1 or 2 jobs per day. That's all you should be applying for, not applying for more than that. 15, 20. Suddenly, one day I'm feeling very low, I'm not happy with my work, so I applied to 15 jobs. The other day I'm fine, I've forgotten about it, so I'm not applying. It is consistent application of that particular process. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. I told this yesterday also, that job requirements are wish list. Don't be scared to apply. If you are fulfilling the top few criterias or top few requirements, just go ahead and apply. Don't try and match everything that is there asked in the job description, and see whether you have it with you or not. Top 3 to 5 things, if you are covering, just go ahead and apply for it. A lot of people come to me saying that, sir, I am a fresher, can I apply to a company which is asking for 1 to 2 years of experience? I think you should apply for that. If they are asking for 1 to 2 years of experience, they may as well be ready for doing taking you. And if you have the right set of skill set, then it's not about 1 or 2 years of experience. Yes, if somebody has written, I'm looking out for 5 years of experience and you are a fresher, don't apply for that. Does not make any sense. Also, you should be ready for a quick telephonic interview, right? It's not necessarily an interview, it's just maybe the initial screening that the HR is doing. You cannot have that initial screening when the HR calls and you can say that, okay, please, I'm busy for the next 3 days, and then you call me after 3 days. They are not going to call you after 3 days. If you are busy immediately that point of time, you can say that, I'm in middle of something, please call me after half an hour. But if you say that please call me after 2 3 days, it's not going to work out. They are not going to do. Yes, if they're asking for doing a technical interview immediately for half an hour, you can say that, okay, I'm not available today, you can we can do it tomorrow, or I'm not available today and tomorrow, you can do it after 2 days. But if you ask for a very long time during the telephonic conversation or the first conversation, they are not going to come back. A lot of people I come across, they say that, sir, I've asked for 7 days because I was not prepared. If you're not prepared, then don't apply for jobs. As simple as that. Yes, the job don't come to you on day one, but there are times where good quality job just lands up in the first and you are not ready for it. So you get yourself ready for it and start applying this. And ready means does not mean that, oh, I have to be 100% confident and only then apply. If you do that, you will never apply for it. There's one more thing that is there that I say to people, that you should follow up. When you had when somebody called and said that I'm going to schedule a interview and you're not getting a schedule, then you should go and call up and check with those people that what happened. You called up and then I did not get a call back. Calling up once or twice is okay. You should obviously not overdo it. But a lot of people don't even save those numbers. So when you get a call from such people, saying, let's say I'm a consultant, I'm hiring for this company, and I feel your profile is good, so I'm going to send across. So what you can do is save that number, and if you don't hear back from them 2 to 3 days after that, then call them up and check with them. So this is a good practice, because sometimes these guys are so busy, they have so many resumes, and then they suddenly forget the one person that they have shortlisted, and they may not have forwarded your stuff. And if they have forwarded and you're not shortlisted, then obviously they may tell you that, okay, you're not shortlisted, which then also frees your mind up, and then you can go ahead. This is something that I see a lot of people not doing. That is why I had to write it. So if there is anybody who has referred you into a particular company, you should always keep them in a loop. Loop means you should always inform them. So let's say, okay, you referred, I got a call from the HR. Okay, today I had an interview. All these things could be very helpful, because that person who has referred you also feels that pride. He feels good about it. So there is nothing by that guy has anyways helping you out. If you just update him of what is going on, that will be good. You need not call up every time and update. You can just send a text message saying that, okay, I today I had an interview, thank you for your referral. That is all that you have to do. And what this does is that if they get some updates, a lot of time the HR guy or the internal people who are shortlisting and finalizing candidate may just tell the person that, okay, this is the person that we are going to hire. So that gives you an insight of what is happening. Could give you, I mean, it's not always, but that could give you an insight of what is happening. My final thing on the job search stuff is that a lot of people say that, okay, sir, I have applied to 2 companies, and I will wait for 1 week and then apply for more companies, because if these companies are replying to me, then I will not apply for other companies. But you don't know. you don't know whether those are going to reply to you or not. If you spend 7 days just waiting for them, then you will have to spend months and months together not getting a relevant job. So my advice to all people is that keep applying, apply to 1 to 2 jobs on a daily basis, or 5 to 7 jobs on a weekly basis, and then do not expect any replies. If you get a reply, even a reply saying that okay, you're not shortlisted, that's a good thing to look at, because most of the recruiters are too busy to reply to you. At least that is how it happens in India. So these are the things that you should look at when you are trying to search for a job. If you have a question related to this, I will be more than happy to take it up.
No, sir. It's very understandable. Actually, it's a steps, the process we should follow. It's practically this is what the relevance is.
Correct.
So understood, sir. Understood.
Okay, great. Next is going to an interview. Now this is something that you should understand well, because getting yourself shortlisted is a very very big task. Now if you have got yourself shortlisted, then you should ensure that you grab the opportunity. So preparing for interview is very important. And when I say prepare for interview, does not mean that you have to spend months and months together to prepare yourself. What I mean by preparing yourself with interview is that you should have a clear process for how do I prepare for a interview. For me, the process is related to a few things. First is, you should be well prepared for all the basic questions, like tell me about yourself, run me through your resume, tell me. Sometimes they ask you about your personal life, right? Sometimes they ask you about college life. So these are a few, this is just the icebreaker. They start off with this because they don't know where to start the question, and it is more likely to come, or very highly likely to come in all the interviews. At least all the interviews that I have gone through, it has come to me, right? And so you should be prepared for it. So when I say prepare, it's not like you should have memorized all those things, but you should have bullets in your mind that okay, when somebody asks me, tell me about yourself, then these are the 5 things that I am definitely going to talk about, right? You need not talk about all the history of your family when you are talking about yourself. You may include your family into it, but you need not talk a lot about it. So be prepared of what you want to say during that. This could also be things that you can say, that things like I am somebody who is very passionate about finance. You can talk about, or you can say about these things in the interview to start off. That gives them that okay, this guy is finance, okay, this guy is interested in finance, so let us ask him questions related to finance. If you are able to answer those questions which are related to finance, you are through with the interview. The second set of questions that you should be definitely be ready with is the company related section. Now this is generally applicable to large companies. Small companies may not be looking at it. For large companies, most of the large companies, and specifically most of the MNCs, focus a lot on the questions related to their own company. So you should be clear of what industry that company is working on, what are the products, what are the services that company does, which markets this company works on. And you should also have some of the financial understanding of that company, right? Like the revenue, the profitability, the balance sheet size. If you're looking at a financial services company or a bank, you should know the balance sheet size. If you're looking for a mutual fund, you should know the AMC. All these things are basic stuff that you should be prepared with. They may or may not ask, but you should be prepared with, because if they ask and you don't know, a lot of people take it very negatively. They said that, okay, you've not done your research on the company. When I'm trying to hire somebody for a research analyst, they should have actually done basic research related to the company. The next thing on the resume that you've written, now you see, when we wrote our resumes, we wrote all those things that we want them to ask the questions on. And if you are able to answer on those topics, you are good in the interview. There is a very high chance that you will be through that interview. On the other hand, if you are not able to talk about them, then you are gone. For example, in this sample resume, if you see, we have written about Indigo Airlines. So we built a model on Indigo Airlines. Now, if you are not able to talk, if somebody asks, okay, you built a model on Indigo Airline, so tell us about the revenue drivers, tell us about the cost drivers, how did you went ahead and forecasted the numbers, what are the things that you took into consideration? If you are not able to answer these basic questions related to this, then you're gone. And if you're able to answer the questions related to this, then you are through, more likely to be through with the interview. So understand this, that your resume, as I said, is a match fixing. Now, what you are telling to the interviewer indirectly is, ask me questions related to this. And if you are able to answer this, they are more than happy, because the way you made the resume was according to the requirement of the company based on the skill set. Now, if you're able to answer those questions, it means that you have the right set of skill set to be put into the company. So when I say well prepared, these are things which are in your control, and this can be done very quickly. Basic questions and your resume related stuff, you should be always thorough about it. The only new thing that is there that you have to do for each company is the research on that company, and that should not take you more than half an hour to 1 hour. Now, if you remember, I said a lot of times the HR guys call you up and fix up a technical interview. Now, during that initial call, you should check with the HR person that what will be the interview process. It is very important to know the interview process. There are 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 5 rounds, 7 rounds, or what kind of rounds are. If the HR say that there will be 3 rounds, okay, so are these all technical rounds, or they are other things? So some, as I said yesterday, some people do a psychometric test, so that is 1 round. So then they may do a technical test or the technical interview, and then finally do a HR interview. So this is 3 rounds. So you should get this information when you are getting the first call from them saying that, okay, we are going to schedule an interview. Okay, great, schedule an interview, but tell me what is the general process in your company for that interview. That is very helpful, because that can help you plan. Now, in an interview, whether it is a written, or maybe sometimes they send you Excel sheets, whatever kind of interview it is, they are testing with these things, right? They are testing for these things: your analytical ability, your modeling slash Excel sheets skills, and your general finance understanding. Majority of them are searching or looking out for this. On top of it, they are also looking for communication, right? Now, how are they testing for this? Now, one of the things that most of the equity research, investment banking, even the FP&A role, credit roles, they try and test your analytical ability through guesstimates or guess estimates, right? So there are a lot of these guess estimates which are available on the internet. You can search for it. I can give you an example. Some of my students were asked this, that, okay, tell me how many letters do you have in your resume? How many letters? Not even words. How many letters? Now, first they ask you, okay, did you make this resume? Yeah, I made this resume. So how many how many letters are there in that uh, particular in your resume? Now, it's a question for which they're not expecting a right answer. They want to understand how you get to the answer, right? So your typical answer could be, okay, now if I look at my resume, it is a one-page resume. One-page resume typically will have 20 to 25 lines. So it has got 25 lines. Each line has got about 5 to 7 to 10 words, right? And each word will have about 3 to 5 letters. So 5 letters into 10 words, if I say 50 per line, and then multiplied by the number of lines, that gives you an approximation. They're not looking at the right answer or the wrong answer. They want to understand what you are getting to. I got one in my interview also, when I did a long time back, 2008. They asked me, can you tell me how many Maruti 800s are there in India? Now, a question that obviously I did not know an answer to, but I told them that, okay, 10% of all the cars that are there in India are Maruti 800. It was very spontaneous. That happened. Now, this guy asked me, okay, tell me, how did you arrive at that 10%? I said that, you see, I have spent a large part of my last 5 7 years, apart from my articleship, in Nagpur. So in Nagpur, when I look at cars going past me, I see out of every 10 cars there are two cars which are Maruti 800. So typically it is 20% of the cars which is Maruti 800. But I am coming from this Nagpur is a comparatively a smaller city. The larger cities will have less number of Maruti 800, because they would have moved to other stuff. So that is one reason. And then obviously at that point of time, there was news that Maruti was shutting down the 800. So obviously that would have reduced the number. So based on that, I gave a answer about 10%. Now, there is no right or wrong answer, and they're not expecting really a right or wrong answer. They want to understand your thought process. So this is one kind. So you can search for such guess estimates that are available, and then go ahead and think through how you can answer for. Similarly, they also can do small case studies, like some of these places where the students go for interview. They are asking for, okay, tell me, how will you go ahead and forecast the employee cost for a service based organization? So these small case studies and things, they are using to understand your analytical ability. A lot of these companies are also sending out case studies to understand your Excel finance, the general finance, and the modeling skills. I will show you a few case studies that some of my students have undergone through. Next is, what they're also wanting to know is your general understanding of finance. Now, all this, or majority of it, is from the perspective of somebody who is 0 to 2 years or 0 to 3 years kind of a experience. They want to understand your general understanding of finance. Now, how they obviously do that is by asking you questions related to what is happening in the finance world. So what are the latest happening? Are you aware of that? And then they may actually get inside it and ask for your understanding, or gauge your understanding of those particular points. If you are somebody who has just read about it, there are a lot of people who will not read about it. If you have read about it, then they try and gauge whether you have read it in just the headline or you've gone in detail about it. So they're trying to understand your understanding of general finance. At the end of the interview, obviously, if it is a face-to-face or a online interview, where obviously it's not about the case study, then what you have to also do is ask question. Now, this is a must. You should always ask a question. Now, uh, most of the people will say what questions to ask. Now you should always ask questions related to the profile. What will be my profile? You should always ask about what will be my growth path, how people progress in the company. From, okay, if I join at the this level or the analyst level, then what is my progress, or how long does it take to progress to the next level and the subsequent levels. And what skills I will acquire in this particular roles, what new skills will I acquire in this particular role. So these are things that you have to talk about. A lot of time, the recruiters or people, the hiring manager, already would have spoken about the profile, saying that, okay, this is the profile. You can also ask about the company if you're not very sure of the company. If it is, let's say, a startup or a smaller company, you can ask more details about a company. If it is not already available on the internet, you should ask questions related to the company also. Always have a question. Don't be worried whether your interview was good or not. Don't be worried, still ask those questions. Yes. So
Yes, sir.
yeah. If you have any
Yes.
questions related to the interview process, I will be more than happy to take that up.
No, sir. So it's highly relatable and informative. So they will test us the skills and the Excel thing, finance, and this guess estimates and psychometric tests and small case studies and
Correct.
and checking the spontaneity. So that and all things, it's very new to me, and I will work on that. It's Thank you, sir. We can proceed.
Be prepared for it. And all the profiles that we spoke about yesterday, all of them, you are very highly likely to get such kind of case studies. So you should be prepared for that. And if you don't get, obviously, is a good thing. But there is a very high chance that you will get such case studies.
So the finance roles will be selected based upon this interview. So the interview will consist of the case studies, not only the oral things, right?
Correct,
The
correct,
analytical Excel skills,
correct,
models, and in a
correct,
research role means they will deep dive into that research part. They will ask the world what is happening. So it's more of a practically interview. Practically questions
correct.
will be asked in interview, right?
Right. So they don't want, if you just say, I know financial modeling, right? As a recruiter, how do I know whether you are saying it correct or not, or whether you are up to the level that I want you to know the financial modeling? The only way I can test you is to give you a model, ask you to build that model, and then I can test you. Also,
Understood.
it's not necessary that you have to get all this model 100% correct.
Hmm.
Sometimes people want, oh, I made some mistakes, so I'm not sending across. So company said, okay, after three, I'm sending you this. After 3 hours you send back, and because you were not 100% confident, you did not send it across. Whatever you have done, to whatever extent you have done, sometimes you are not able to finish it because the time is not sufficient. You still, whatever you are done, please send it across to the person, because I have gone through an interview where they are sometimes trying to test you, saying that, okay, you have to do this in 3 hours, and they themselves know that it cannot be done in 3 hours. So they're
Okay.
just seeing that if you are put under pressure, how do you react to that?
What's the output comes from
Correct.
the candidate?
Correct. So, most of the candidates will say, okay, it was 3 hours were not enough. I could not do anything. So I'm not sending across the file at all. So
Okay.
you should not do that. Whatever you are able to do, send it across. At the end of it, what is the worst that can happen? They will not shortlist you, right? But anyways, if you don't send, then they are not giving you a chance also. If you send it
Okay.
across, at least you are giving yourself chance. If it was not possible to complete in the time allocated time, then they will look at it. And then if you are good, and if you are not able to do, then there is a chance that most of the people were not able to do it. So why not send it across to them, and then let them take the call? Why are you or me? Why are we taking the call? Let the company take that call, right? Whether you are shortlisted or not. So never worry about oh, if I am sending half the model, what will be the impression? There is no impression. That guy will not even remember you after half an hour.
Understood. So it's taking opportunity. If it is favorable means fine, or else we can move to the next opportunity.
Correct. Move to the next one. No problem with that.
So,
So
so,
yeah,
so for taking the interview, if I'm practical, I'm a fresher into this finance and investment banking industries. So now, if I'm taking an interview, in the sense, even though I'm posing CFA, if I'm competing one, two, three levels or not,
hmm,
so this financial modeling, I mean, the creating the models in the Excel and VBA, these all things mandatory skills, right, to get into this industry.
right. I will not say VBA, but financial modeling is definitely a mandatory skills because you see, this is the primary requirement most of the time when you actually get into such profile. The first thing that you will do is start building models. Now the companies don't want to spend time in your
Training.
training, right? I mean, if you are getting into such roles, they are paying for your, they are paying a good salary for you, right? They don't want to waste 1 or 2 months of salary training you.
Okay.
And
So strictly,
it is not something that you can't learn outside. If there was no courses available outside, then it's okay. Okay, there's nothing that the person can learn outside, so we will have to teach. But there are so many courses related to this already available, so you should definitely have those skills already with you, whether you are doing CFA, not doing CFA, whether you are the CA or not CA, it does not matter. You should have that skill set if you are aspiring to get into that company.
understood.
Yeah.
So the Excel skills in the with finance, I mean, analytical
Right.
ability
I
is
will
must.
not just say Excel, maybe I will just extend that and say financial modeling, your analytical ability, and your communication.
And communication
Communication.
and dealing with the clients. So that is a level, the extreme level.
Correct.
So
Correct. Not everybody is expecting you to deal with clients. So their majority of the times, if your communication is decent, then you can be taught how to deal with clients.
deal with clients. Yeah. So yes, sir. Understood, sir. Uh,
Yeah. So this is what I wanted to cover. Any questions? I will be more than happy to take. Otherwise, I'm done for the day. I will also be ready to take if there
uh,
is any career related questions.
no, sir. A career related, actually, yeah. Whatever the questions arises in mind, I already asked that. It's
Okay.
one thing I need to improve on my skills. I need to work on the practical scenario,
Hmm.
and